Hey, welcome to This Explainer. Today, I'm stepping right into the role of your personal career coach, and we're staging a bit of an energetic, one-on-one intervention. Look, if you've been pacing the floor, staring out the window, or just endlessly scrolling through job boards, waiting for some booming voice from the sky to tell you exactly what your next career move should be, well, you are in the exact right place. We're talking about action today. We're talking about momentum. And we're going to completely change how you view your next big leap. Okay, let's dive into this. I've got to ask you something, and I need you to be really honest with yourself here. Are you delaying your career pivot, that big project, or just a major life change in general, simply because you're waiting for the universe to give you this perfect, undeniable green light? Honestly, so many of us fall into this exact trap. We kind of think, well, if it's meant to be, it's going to be super obvious. But what if waiting for a sign is actually just the ultimate form of procrastination? Today, we're going to completely dismantle that idea.
Section 1, Stop Waiting for Signs. The myth of the universe's message. Now, if you've ever read Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, you know it features this really beautiful, romantic idea of reading omens to find your path in life. But today, we're stripping away all that magical thinking, and we're redefining that loaded word, because in reality, an omen is simply data. Period. It's the sharpened opportunity and pattern recognition that naturally just switches on inside your brain the absolute second you make a real commitment. The universe isn't actually sending you some coded, mystical message. Your brain is just finally applying a brand new mental filter. You're suddenly seeing things that were honestly always there, simply because you've told your mind, hey, these things are relevant now. You've probably heard this famous quote from the book, "All the universe conspires to help you." It sounds amazing, right? But let's break this down for what it is, a metaphor. Just wishing for a new career doesn't magically bend world events in your favor. Instead, it's really about the fact that committed, alert people naturally put themselves right in the path of luck. It isn't that fate organizes itself around your desire, it's that your desire actually organizes you. An organized, alert person catches the lucky breaks that a distracted person literally just walks right past without noticing. Section 2, How Commitment Changes Attention, Flipping the Filter. This is where the mindset shift really truly happens. The moment you decide on a goal, you actually physically reorganize your attention. I like to call this the guitar effect. So say you randomly decide today that you want to learn how to play the acoustic guitar. What happens tomorrow? Boom. Suddenly you see guitars everywhere. There's one sitting in the corner of your local cafe. You notice your buddy has one stuffed in their closet. You start seeing flyers for lessons on the street. Were all those guitars just magically manifested overnight? No way. They were always there. Your commitment simply changed what your mind flagged as important. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world with an actual career change. Take Maria. She's an accountant who decides out loud that she wants to move into UX design. Look at her timeline here. Week 1, she quote-unquote suddenly notices someone wearing a design agency t-shirt at her gym. Week 2, a friend casually shares a podcast about switching to tech. Now, these opportunities were always orbiting her life, always. But her commitment, that's what activated her mental filter. She caught the brakes because she finally turned her radar on.
So the crucial point is right here. Decide first, steer later. The absolute most common mistake people make is waiting for a sign before they act. They want a 100% guarantee, but waiting is just deferral in disguise, you know? The commitment is the very thing that switches your attention on in the first place. You have to firmly choose the direction first, even without absolute certainty, so that your brain can actually start gathering the data you need to steer the ship.
Section 3, The Active Doer Advantage. Escaping the research trap. All right, this brings us to the tough love portion of our coaching session today. I'm going to draw a sharp contrast here, using two characters from our story. On the left side, we have the passive researcher, that's the Englishman, who just buries himself in endless alchemy books, completely certain the answers live in text. On the right side, we've got the active doer, that's Santiago, who can barely read, but he learns by watching the desert, observing the people, and actually participating in the journey itself. Stripped of all the mysticism, the lesson here is crystal clear. The world teaches the person who is actually out in it, acting and paying attention, not the one hiding away in books waiting to feel fully prepared. And that right there is the massive mistake so many ambitious people make, studying instead of doing. Doing endless research, reading just one more career book, taking one more online personality quiz. It's so often mistaken for actual progress. But let me tell you, you absolutely cannot learn how to read real-world situations from a textbook. Your attention is sharpened by direct contact with the real world, not by taking more notes in your bedroom.
Section 4. Using the commitment compass. Your blueprint for momentum. Okay, now that we know what not to do, let's translate this theory into your day-to-day life. Here are the 5 exact steps of the commitment compass to get you moving. Step 1, state your goals specifically. Don't just vaguely say, hey, I want a new job. Say, I want a data analytics role in healthcare. Specificity tunes your filter. Step 2, commit enough to switch that filter on. Step 3, scan weekly. Write down every single opening or interesting person your new radar picked up. Step 4, act on exactly one of them every single week. Send an email, ask a question, whatever it takes. And finally, step 5, decide for yourself. Actually, let's double-click on that last step for a second. Treat signs as input, not commands. In the book, Santiago carries these 2 stones, Urim and Thummim, to help him out when he's stuck. But he's told plainly from the start, they inform decisions, but they never ever make them for you. It is so incredibly tempting to treat every little coincidence as fate pointing the way. Don't do that. Treat those openings as data points. They prompt you to consider something, sure, but they are never an excuse to stop thinking critically for yourself. Section 5, your 7-day action log, the homework assignment. Yep, I am absolutely giving you homework. But right before I give you the rules, I really want to imprint this quote on your mind. Attention is trained by action, not by study. Remember Santiago and the Englishman? You need real contact with the messy, unpredictable world to sharpen your opportunity recognition. You simply cannot optimize your career pivot in a vacuum. You've got to step out into the arena. All right, so here are the exact rules for your 7-day log. First up, right now, write down one highly specific goal. Second, for the next week, I want you to jot down every daily opening you notice. Could be a passing comment, a random LinkedIn post, friend's recommendation, doesn't matter. Third, do not judge them at all. Just capture them as pure data. And finally, you must act on exactly one of them every single day. And listen, this action can be tiny, seriously. A 2-minute message, a quick Google search, a short email asking for a 10-minute coffee chat. Just act. And that brings us to day 7, the magic number. On the 7th day, I want you to literally sit down and reflect. Look at your log. Look at how many openings you noticed that you would have completely walked past, completely missed just a week ago. Look at which of those tiny 2-minute actions actually sparked a conversation or led somewhere brand new. You are going to prove to yourself that the opportunities were always there, waiting for you. I want to leave you with a final, really vital question. Are you waiting for a perfect sign, or are you making your own decisions? Stop waiting for the universe to tap you on the shoulder, state your goal, flip the filter in your brain, and take your very first real step today. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and man, I cannot wait to see you out there taking action.